Hi everyone, so welcome to another vlog, Hat Stays On. So it's coming up to August the 5th, which will mark the first year of me having gone through what I've gone through last year to that date. And I wanted to do this video, it was already cut short. I'm not sure why, it is on 10%, but I think I'm going to get through this a bit quickly for that reason. But I was thinking to do this vlog because it's coming up to the 24th July moon in Cancer. And since we just had Capricorn in Cancer moon, there's something going on there where it's kind of revealing the illusion of what is affecting your energy. And this sound bite I'm playing right now is a track that I had played with, which to me doesn't sound too bad playing it back now. I can't even remember creating it because God knows when it was. But basically, to run through my situation, what happened, I was cut out after a sibling situation created a toxic environment at home. I had nowhere to go, basically, and they were threatening me with homelessness. So I called the police just for evidence, and I still have those 2 videos even though I was threatened to delete them because they gave me 10k. I was gonna go away. I went away. The goal was to stay abroad for a year so I could be with the community, be safe, you know. But then, of course, I didn't have any incoming. And that's always been something of an issue as a creative. That responsibility. And I was just thinking that there's obviously something nostalgic happening to get you to pinpoint where those problems started originally affecting the way it affected you. And I've started to pattern it in stages throughout my life. And music I'm quite connected to. And just hearing this sound, it's a very basic sound of a synth, an 808 drum, and that's it, but it's on a repeat. And there's something about sound waves and healing, and that it's like with the subliminals, depending on the hertz rhythm, can get you to certain moods, and it's those certain moods that help you relax. And I've been finding it a bit stressful because it is coming up to that time. I don't have that security, and I do have to be reliant because I don't have a steady stream of income. So August the 5th is when it happened, and I had to stay in an airport coming back. I had nowhere to go, I had no funds in my account. I was sick, probably COVID again, coming back. And it just wasn't an easy time at all. It was the worst time of my life, I think. I didn't deserve to be treated like that, but this economy doesn't care. And it's because it doesn't care that it gets away with it. And these things will happen time and time again. It doesn't matter who you are. You know, I just saw a short on YouTube, and it brought it up for me as a reflective on this moon situation. And maybe that's what's going on right now in the energies, because we're reflecting back on the times we got into this cycle of, you know, what's happening financially and health-wise. And I kind of pinpointed it now, because music, we have a musical family, and I had wanted to get into music since I was a kid, but somebody always got in the way of that with their jealousy. And I am also passionate about my writing as well. I kept my writing always to myself, and I really didn't start until later when I needed to say, right, okay, I need to do something. Because my family just kept saying, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. you know, they wouldn't let me, basically. So naturally, when it came to anything creative, I didn't want to do it because I know what the answer would be. And they put me in that thought, that process, that last year, even though they kicked me out, made me homeless, and I wasn't allowed back to the family home, I had got back into university, because outside of university, if you're on universal credit, nowhere else would take you. No accommodation, so I would have been homeless. And it's just making me think very deeply about these situations and earning passive income that I need to earn to not be reliant. And when I look back on it, and even now, they are wanting to see me again. And they contacted me because they're my parent that's still alive. And it's just, whilst you say yes, okay, it actually, there becomes a point in your own self where the energy, it goes away, because the effort it takes to keep replaying, to keep, it's almost a force, it's a force against your own sanity, and it's out of your control. And that's what they want to manipulate, almost, because they can, because they have, because they did in the past. And this outlet was a very basic outlet for me, because I could have it on an iPad, I could have it on an iPhone with GarageBand. But it's the mood, it's the energy of wanting to create those sounds. And I've not really felt like it until the past couple of days, and then I just found all this old stuff. And then I just clicked on this, and it made me reflective. And then I suddenly, it clicked. I suddenly clicked what was happening. Because even though the economy can say, you know, get a job, get a job, get a job, be kicked to the nines, it won't protect you when you're in situations like I was last year. And this is what I'm saying, is that this economy is just not, it's not fair, and it's not a fair level playing field, because people have more than you, or they're afraid of you having more than them. So they completely go to the ends of the earth to stop that. And this is what's been happening in my life. And so I'm trying to do these vlogs in the hope that maybe other people can understand the seriousness of this situation when it comes to wealth, and when it comes to the disproportionate effects that it has on those that do and those that don't. You can tax the middle class and the working class to such an extent that the tax you get will not be sufficient enough compared to the wealth tax of taxing a certain margin that will still be considerably more for this £22 billion black hole that we're supposedly having. Going through those lists of numbers of those margins of people who earn a certain bracket, and it's like, it's the differences of parting with 100k compared to having 10 million in your bank. And if these people are really that greedy to manipulate that amount of funds to a country that's giving them their success, they have no right to be here if they do not give it back, or are not giving it back to the community that gave it to them in the first place. As for the wealth that want to leave, they aren't leaving, they are staying. The problem is, keep manipulating that idea, and you'll see the negative consequences you are setting yourself up for, a mighty fall like that, for failing to see the creator economy is going to be the biggest economy that will bring the change that we need to securing our authenticity through the work that we are doing. Because it's unique to us, it's our thumbprint, it's our blueprint. It's not that I just do this. I also, you know, like to make things like this, like my jewelry, you know. But all these things that we make, people want to steal and copy. And yes, I copied this off another person, but I'm not going to sell it, I'm not going to profit off it, because why would I? That's not my modus operandi. But there are people who have a modus operandi, and this is what I want to talk about, because it's those people that are trying to say otherwise about the economy and think they can get away with distorting the facts and the figures of the reality, that it's just not working up. It's not working, the numbers. You know, numbers don't lie, where people always do. And it's this behaviour of not wanting to tax the wealthy, where we should tax the wealthy. Because even at the end of the day, you kids can go to private school, but the schools can close because the taxing initiatives are shutting it down, that the schools can no longer afford it. So in the end, you're displacing your own family for having those viewpoints that are negatively impacting you already. Quit while you're ahead. And better yet, realise the times we are in are the times of the Maker. And that's it for this vlog anyway. So, those are some opinions from Project Piper, and I'm Piper, aka Piper. And we'll see if I can get to doing any more, because, you know, this new moon after a Capricorn full moon, there's something from beginning to end here that's coming full circle. And if you aren't in the right path, don't be the copycat, when you can be the leader of your own pack. And people will try and put themselves in the way of that leader. And if you're one of them, start voicing it, you know. Start saying, start speaking about it. Don't hold back, because they're going to try to block you anyway, anyhow, even if it makes you homeless. This is a fight, this is a spiritual attack. You may not realise it, but it is an illusion we are in. And, you know, you have to understand, and you have to understand your mental well-being and your health are related to monetary circumstances. And if you're in a very bad situation which is out of your control, you have to start to look at the people around you that are the roadblocks blocking your way forward, but are there all the time thinking you don't want to think about what they're really doing. And as dark as the truth is, sometimes it's the best medicine for us out of the toxicity, because we know something's not right. And because it's coming up to that time of year for me, I want to do everything I can so that I am protected. And what I think helps is to voice that and share it. And so that's what I'm trying to do. So hopefully I'll be doing some more, and hopefully we'll get through it together.